everybody, it's Lon.TV, and we're taking a look today at the G910 game controller for your smartphone, and this is it here. Looks a lot like an Xbox 360 controller. It actually feels a lot like one too. I think they almost molded it out of an Xbox controller right down to the button labeling, just being almost identical. What it's got though is a little mounting bracket here that you can put a smartphone in, and it supports the iPhone easily, and it probably can support a larger phone too. So I would say, probably into the, but maybe not a Galaxy Note, but certainly all of the Samsung Galaxy size phones are there. Feels a little flimsy up here. I'm not sure how long this bracket's going to take abuse, but it seems to work. On the iOS side, it only supports the iCade protocol. It does not support the new iOS game controller standard. So if you're looking to play some of the newer iOS games moving forward, this is probably not going to be a good investment unless maybe they do some firmware update down the road. But it does work with some older games that have been out on the iOS platform for a while that support the iCade protocol. So as you can see here, we're playing a little Metal Slug, and I just lost my little guy there. And it seems to work pretty well there. Again, the problem though, at moving forward, you're going to have some issues with it. Now it has some other modes as well that are designed to work with Android, and the one that I was looking for most in particular was Bluetooth HID. And HID is basically the standard Bluetooth game controller mode that should work across just about any device. And I've tried to connect this thing to a Windows computer, to a Mac. I connected it to an Android tablet. No matter what I connected it to, it keeps showing up as a keyboard, even in that supposed HID mode, and not as a game controller. So, from the standpoint of trying to use it as a Bluetooth controller, at least in my testing, it has been completely useless, and I haven't been able to get any kind of response from the company who sent this to the show to review as to why it's doing that. So I did try to hunt around and find firmware updates. I actually added a day to the production schedule, at least when I was going to shoot this yesterday. I'm now finally getting to it because I've tried everything to try to shoehorn some firmware on here. The only firmware I could find was attached to some MediaFire account somewhere. I mean, it's just a mess. So at this point, I can't recommend this really at all, mainly because for iOS users, it's not going to support the latest controller protocols. And for anyone else looking for a Bluetooth controller, it just doesn't seem to be working with the standard Bluetooth protocols either. So I do believe there are Android apps that you can get to maybe custom map different games to the device. But really, if it doesn't support Bluetooth HID, it's really not going to be all that useful moving forward for me. So that is the G910 game controller, and I just can't recommend it right now. But if they do get back to us and try to find a way to fix this thing, I will do a follow-up review. But right now, I don't think you're going to have a very good run with it. This is Lon.TV, and thanks for watching.